Hello, I'm Regole. I'm going to be running Dark Souls for you today. This is Prepare to Die edition. It's the original version of the game released on Steam. We're going to be doing all bosses, so it's going to be all 26 bosses in the game, including the DLC, Artorias of the Abyss, which is pre-packaged with it. And I'm joined by my commentators here. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Catalyst. I prefer to ride on horses these days, but I used to play this game.
And now I'm Marionette. I also speedrun the same category for quite a while now.
He has the world record, by the
Yes,
way.
he does.
So that's it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, both of these guys are really good at this game too. So, all right, we're just going to jump right into it. And I think there is a name incentive. Can we get that?
Absolutely. I just did a last-minute refresh, and Combustion was sniped at the last second with just $2. I had a big John, so Combustion is the name.
Okay, all right. We won't be using
Well, actually,
combustion,
sorry.
Oh,
It literally just came in. Sorry about that. This has been an incredible big war.
Insane.
All right, let's see here.
Pausers.
All right, I got a confirmation. It is Big John that won the bid war at the last possible
Nice.
second.
Let's go. Okay. So just going to go over character creation here. We're going to choose male, which is apparently like just slightly faster than female because of some weird way the animations are programmed in this game. There actually is like a small little difference in the acceleration speeds. It's not a big deal, but it does make a difference. And then we're going to be going as Pyromancer for two big reasons. There's a certain glitch we're going to be doing later on called air rolls, which depends on your equip load. You need a very precise equip load, and the armor that you start with is actually really good for setting up that equip load, the Pyromancer armor. You also get Fireball and a Pyromancy glove, which we're going to be using to wrong warp way later in the run. That's the two main reasons we're choosing Pyromancer. We're also going to select Black Fire Bombs because this is going to allow us to kill a few enemies a little faster, including the first boss, which we'll see really quickly here, and everything else doesn't really matter. We can go from there. So I'll start countdown if you guys are ready to go.
Yep.
All right.
Under the button.
Oh, I have to do it. Okay.
Or Mario.
Big button. You want to hit it, Mario?
Sure.
All right. So on go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So we're going to start in the Undead Asylum here. This is the tutorial. We are going to very quickly get to the first boss, who we're going to chuck 5 black fire bombs at to take care of him really quickly. And then after that, we're going to be transitioning to the early game. I would say the first thing that we're going to be trying to do is get the Lord Vessel to allow us to warp in between all the bonfires into the game, get around much faster. And we're also going to be picking up our starting gear on the way there and killing some bosses on the way. But first, we got to take care of this guy. So we're going to run to this spot right here and start chucking some bombs at him. He's going to land right here. He's going to try to hit us. We're going to roll it. 2 more, and he is done. That's
Very
one done.
nice.
Then we're just going to get through here. We're not going to pick up any of these items because we don't need it. We're going to be buying our starting gear that we need for the first boss, or the second boss, really. So we don't have to pick up any items. And we have to talk to this NPC ahead named Oscar. We need to break this wall to get a key to leave the asylum. And then we have to go upstairs as the last thing for the asylum to get the Pyromancy glove. These hollows are really annoying, so hopefully they don't block me.
Yeah, one cool thing Regal is going to do here is roll to actually aggro the hollows that are behind the corner. Because enemies in this game, they cannot just see you, they can also hear you. So by rolling, you make extra noise, and that way you aggro the hollows a little bit earlier, and you can make it through just like that.
Yeah, that first one will just kind of stand there and block you, but it gets him to come out a little bit faster.
Yeah, normally we would quit out at that door to skip the opening animation, but since it's a marathon, we're going with RTA-friendly strats.
Yeah, so we'll do kind of a mixture of them, of RTA and IGT, because this game is timed by IGT, but there's some things like quitting out on doors that aren't really very interesting. And right there, we leveled up 10 decks because we're going to need 10 decks in order to wield the second weapon that we're going to be using. This early game, we're kind of going to cycle through a few different weapons until we arrive at our major weapon for the run. But we need 10 decks to wield the Drake Sword, which we'll be getting soon. The thing we're doing right now is we're heading to Taurus Demon. We're on our way to the Lord Vessel, but Taurus Demon is just an enemy in the way, and it's faster to kill him now than to backtrack. We also want to buy some stuff from the merchant up here to set us up for the rest of the run. So that's kind of a lot what the early game is, just making your way to Anor Londo to acquire the Lord Vessel while picking up gear and killing bosses on the way.
Yeah, and here's coming up a glitch that you might have seen on the screen that we switched controller profiles. We used that to abuse the way that the game reads both controller and keyboard and mouse inputs. And we're able to switch tabs and buy the item that we don't have souls for.
Yeah, it's something called prompt swap, and it's exactly what Mario said. It abuses the fact that you can do two inputs at the same time and swap the category while trying to purchase an item you can afford in one of them and transfer that prompt to the other category and then obtain that, that item we didn't normally have souls for.
Nope.
The hollow kind of being rude.
All right, I messed up the move swap, and then he blocked me. Yeah. So that's another major glitch that I was attempting to do there, but I messed it up, is move swap. We can explain that more in depth later.
Yep.
We're going to immediately start using it.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a glitch that we'll use throughout the run, so you'll get to see it a lot.
The Stars Demon, do an R2, R1, Firebomb.
So the Firebomb during this fight is pretty good because normally when you're attacking, it always uses the stamina that you can see in the top left corner. However, when you're throwing the Firebomb, it doesn't actually consume any stamina. And in the meantime, what you can do is you can recover it and then attack a little bit more. So when using consumables, you can be recovering stamina in the meantime, and that way you can get damage in without compromising the stamina levels.
This is the scariest part of the run, so hopefully this goes well. If it goes really bad, I might have to load a save file. So
Switch
hopefully
the
that
knives. Oh yeah. Do it.
So Regole throws a throwing knife to aggro Hellkite Dragon, and now he's gonna be
Nice.
trying to cut the tail and obtaining the Drake Sword.
Perfect.
Nice.
All right, he's gonna hopefully not kill me here. Okay, good.
So this is normally a thing that has been done in runs for a long, long time. And you might be wondering why it's actually so scary. It's because of some early game rerouting that we've done where you do not have the Gold Pine Resin anymore to apply to your weapon. And that way it is much more difficult to actually cut the tail. You have to hit it a lot more times.
Yeah, not only that, but he has literally run-ending RNG that you can't do anything about. So if we got that, it would be really unfortunate, but thankfully it was actually the best RNG.
All right, now I'm on my way to fight Gargoyles. Now that we have a decent weapon, we can take care of them fairly quickly, and it's a little faster to just kill them now rather than backtracking later. So we're going to send down this elevator for another boss later as well. And then we're going to do a kill on this guy here and quit out to set up another glitch called an AI cancel, which is going to let us to get through this very scary room without any trouble, hopefully.
Yeah. We'll also see that a lot in the run, so later on can provide more information. This early game is very densely packed with tricks, so it's really difficult to explain everything at once.
Yeah, also like a lot of the stuff in Dark Souls, it might not be the most impressive visually, right? Like Regole was doing some random stuff with his equipment while running through the hollow room. But on the inside, we have quite decent amount of information on how things work, and those are the most interesting parts of the glitches in this game usually.
My menuing was completely wrong, so I need to fix that.
Humanities as well.
Yeah.
All right, so move swapping again, and now entering the first part of the fight. Gonna cut the tail with an R1. And now we have a stagger setup that allows us to finish the first Gargoyle. Second one comes in, does the fire attack.
Okay.
And that's the second Gargoyle dead.
And you'll notice I did not ring the Bell of Awakening there. There's a lot of skips that we have acquired over the course of this game's existence that allows us to actually just not even ring the bells anymore for all bosses.
Right after the fight, Regole also quit out just as the fight finished, which puts him to the last stable position that he had, which is just outside of the arena. And that way he can backtrack a little bit sooner. And then he quit out again because quit outs also put enemies into their default position. So that way he was able to de-aggro them and make it through Hollow Room safely.
I'm going to quit out again for that same reason. There's a bunch of dudes behind me, and I'm setting up for a big skip here called Sin's Gate Skip, which is going to get us to Anor Londo even faster. You have to bait this hollow down here.
All right, let's see. Very repose.
Nice.
Very nice. So right now you see this top-down camera being activated. What happens here is when this camera is activated, nothing will load or deload anymore, meaning that the next area is loaded at this point, but the entrance to it that's supposed to be there is not. And because we stopped everything from loading or deloading, we're going to be able to just enter the Sense Fortress without having to open it.
And luckily that hollow did not catch up to me. So you can't actually rest at the bonfires if an enemy's nearby. Sometimes that hollow will be very fast. We call them Usain Bolt hollow. And it will prevent you from resting there, and it is very annoying because you have to totally redo it.
Yeah, because now that Regole is going to quit out, which would also allow him to despawn the hollow, everything is going to be back to normal, and we're going to enter Sense Fortress. This would be a good time to probably read one donation, right?
Yeah, one would be good.
All right, I'll squeeze in a quick one then. We have $20 here from Anonymous, simply saying hi. And that was the one that made Combustion go ahead during the break.
The Sense Fortress is a very famous area in casual playthroughs because it's like insanely hard, but for speedrunners everything is on a cycle, so all of these pendulums are going to be nicely placed for us.
Also, another thing that you might have noticed is that Regole will be toggling throughout the run, or he's also toggling his bow, essentially pressing L2, which allows him to start sprinting a little bit sooner. It's a very small time save, but over the course of the run it adds up. So if you're wondering why Regole is constantly toggling his weapon, that's why.
Yeah, it happens the same for blocking out of certain animations as well. It's the same effect.
Yeah, so you're going to see me like block out of the stand-up animation. That's just getting me to full speed slightly faster. Over the course of an entire run, that adds up, for sure.
And that is where the male, well, one of the reasons why the male character is preferred for speedruns over the female character.
All right, get this guy out of the way. Very nice.
Yeah, so you want to explain the move swap glitch a little more in detail now?
Yeah, go ahead, Mario.
Yeah, the move swap is the bread and butter glitch of this game, really. One of the big differences that it has to the remaster that doesn't have the move swap. It also allows for many different routes. Normally in this game you can two-hand the weapon on your left hand, but you can do that with a bow. So if you do a series of quick inputs and you change the bow while trying to also two-hand it to the weapon that you desire, you can transfer the moveset of certain attacks that the bow doesn't have from the weapon on your right hand to the weapon that's now on your left hand. So that's why Regole is able to do this double...
Okay.
Not this double poke attack, but...
This is my least favorite enemy in the whole game.
That is Bob.
Freaking Bob.
But we're gonna be seeing that a lot. So that is the running attack of the rapier.
Yep. If you look at the health bar of Iron Golem, you're going to be seeing the damage done in 2 ticks.
Yep.
So the strategy here is essentially to deal 400 damage to below knee level to make him stagger in a very specific way.
Nice.
Very good. And now 200 more damage below knee levels is going to make him fall on his butt. Except there's no bridge underneath his butt, so he's just gone.
Very cool.
Very good. This is one of the most technical fights in the entire run, so that was very, very impressive.
There was actually a new strat there.
Yeah.
That this guy came up with.
Wow.
He's good.
Yeah. All right, so we are in Anor Londo. There's a lot of just running in this section. Probably one of my least favorite parts of the run. Oh, I don't have this on here. Because there's a lot of enemies just chucking things at your back. There's a lot of RNG to them, but it's like simultaneously not very exciting, but also annoying at the same time. This might be a good spot to get in some donations.
Perfect. I can catch up on the bid war we had during the break then, because we got Moon's Eternity 225 donating $25, which put Big John ahead. But then we had a $25 anonymous donation, which pushed Combustion back. And that was about the time when I almost announced Combustion as the winner, when Sir Fetsack donated $75, saying, "Can a Dark Souls character wear more than one shirt?" And that did, of course, put Big John as
Actually,
the winner.
yes.
You actually can, believe
Actually
it or
can.
not.
How many would it be?
You
Like
can wear like
9?
a lot.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Dark Souls things.
If you're ever cold, yeah, you can dress
Yeah.
up quite a bit.
All right, so this part is a little scary, but I got past the scariest part,
Yeah.
which is that ladder. You'll be going up that ladder, and those painting guardians will just chuck daggers in your back, and there's like nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
Yeah, these rafters were super chill, which is nice.
Yeah, that was really good. And right here, like we're continuing our way to the Lord Vessel to kill ONS, one of the biggest boss fights of the game. But on the way, we are going to be grabbing this bonfire so we can go to it later on to kill some other bosses.
In between these runs through the areas, they're also sometimes set up to later.
Yeah.
Come back later. but
Right.
This one's one of them.
Yeah, some of the routing is particularly interesting because not every bonfire can be warped to in this game. This one can in particular, but for example, later on in in Darkroot Garden, there's a bonfire that we will be taking, and we'll purposely avoid bonfires for quite a while so we can keep on returning to it.
Well, we would, but we're actually going to end up losing it, unfortunately. It's going to lose some time. That's okay.
It's alright.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because of the particular routing we're doing with the incentive. We want to still take a safety bonfire later, so we're going to lose it. But yeah, it's just interesting routing that the restriction of not being able to warp to every bonfire creates.
The quitouts in this game are extremely useful. You can use them to set up glitches, to de-aggro enemies, and here we're going to use one to send this elevator back again, because we're going to quit out before it actually gets all the way to the top. Very nice.
Yeah, we got that nice.
And that would save a lot of time on our way to Priscilla
Yeah.
later on.
Otherwise, we would have to pull the lever to bring that thing all the way back down, and it takes quite a bit of time.
And unlike Dark Souls 3, we can keep quit out of
Yeah.
it, so it gets back down.
So this part, I'm going to need some silence because I will be using audio cues to determine if things are going to throw more stuff at my back. Okay, they were nice there. Okay. Still need a little bit of audio cues. That was like the
Oh,
chillest
that was really
Anor
nice.
Londo of all time.
Very good,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Why can't I get that in
Yeah, I know. Sometimes they will just throw everything they got at you, but that was really, really chill. So normally I would not take this bonfire in like PB attempts, but because this boss is upcoming, is very dangerous, we're just gonna take it for safety.
Yeah, also what needs to be mentioned is that, like, we would spawn all the way back in Darkmoon Tomb, right? So
Right.
we would have to run through the entirety of Anor Londo just to get back here again.
Yeah, that's kind of going on a lot in this game. Nice. Is small little mistakes can punish you quite a bit, that you'll just lose several minutes depending on where you're going to respawn when you die. So taking safety precautions with the bonfires that you rest at is usually a good idea.
It's gonna be worse later on because we're gonna see ourselves at minus less than 20% HP
Right.
quite often.
Yeah, for now, we at least get to work with full HP bar for boss fights, for the most part. But later on, we will be at very low HP, so it'll be even more risky.
What did we just pick up?
Oh, we picked
yeah.
up our major damage source for the rest of the run, the Dragon Tooth. The Giga Tooth. This thing right now, it's only a +0, but later on it will do massive damage. Right now, it's just okay.
So Regole is setting up another AI break here for the first phase of the Ornstein and Smough boss fight. And it looks very, very random, but yeah, we'll enlighten you shortly. You can see that the AI of the boss is quite confused at the moment. And Ornstein is also quite dead.
Smough's chilling.
Probably not the best friends.
Oh.
Okay, go to jump back. Gonna play it safe, wait out an attack. And you can see that with the move swap, not only are we dealing damage of the Dragon Tooth, but we're also dealing poise damage of the Dragon Tooth. So we are able to continuously stagger the bosses, and that was very, very clean.
That is also the reason why we kill Ornstein first, because his super form can't be staggered.
That's right.
And we don't have any arrows, and even if we did, we don't have the dex to wield them. And believe it or not, Guinevere here actually has 2 HP, so we are going to hit her with a throwing knife.
Yep. That is to set up Dark Anor Londo, so we can come back later and fight Gwyndolin without having to either do a glitch or getting the Dark Moon
Yeah,
sounds.
it also she just talks a lot. So.
That is also true.
All right, so now we're in I would call it the second phase of the run, the mid game. We're going to be going to set up larger damage to optimize our boss fights, as well as trying to unlock access to the DLC. I would say this route is kind of streamlined to get to the DLC bosses as quickly as possible, but you still need to do a decent bit of setup in order to not only unlock it, but also optimize your damage for those boss fights. And right here, we're talking to Petrus, simply to buy a spell called Homeward, which we're going to use in combination with the Fireball to Wrong Warp later on in the run. The Wrong Warps save a massive amount of time in any percent, but in all bosses, they're just kind of like a nice little optimization. But I think it's like 20 seconds they save or something, which is, nothing to talk down about. But they don't save as much time as they do in any percent.
Yeah, that's because you can wrong warp into the final area of the game in any percent, so you can skip all the previous requirements, basically, or almost all of them. While in all bosses, we have to go and kill the bosses anyways, right? So yeah, it's only a small difference. So after this quit out, we'll be doing another AI break, and I think this would be a good time to slightly try to explain what actually happens.
You want to go on? You have a pretty good video on it.
Oh yeah. So thank you.
Oh, I did it too early.
Did we do it too
I
early?
miscounted, yeah.
All right, let's be
Yeah.
quiet for the quit out.
It's okay.
Yeah, so we have to wait here, and quitting out allows to set up the AI break.
One more.
Love it.
There we go.
Nice, okay. So basically, when you toggle your weapon, the character transfers from one state to another, so the game has to update the character. And when that happens, the character gets deloaded from a target list, from an internal target list that the game has. And when that happens, the enemies cannot actually attack us, right? Like their AI just doesn't really update anymore. So what Regole does is he chains multiple inputs in such a way that he can toggle every time that the timer for the AI updates, which is every 5 seconds. And that's why when you quit out, the timer starts from 0 and counts down, well, counts up or counts down, doesn't really matter. So you start the chain by quitting out, and then you do several inputs in order to time the toggles perfectly when the timer updates, and you stay out of the target list of the enemies. And that way you can basically stay untargetable and not have them attack you until you attack them first. When you attack them, the AI break is over. That's why at the ONS fight you saw Regole attack Ornstein. As soon as he did, the bosses started fighting back.
Yeah, and what I was counting for there was waiting for the cutscene to start, because you actually get an additional time save there, at least in in-game time, by skipping 2 cutscenes that usually play right there. But I slightly mistimed it, but that's okay.
And Stray Demon's dead.
Yeah, so that was actually a pretty long Stray Demon fight because I still have a Dragon Tooth +0, but there's a good reason to kill Stray Demon this early. It's so you can get to the Painted World, because there is an item in the Painted World that is very interesting for us to get. We are going to be using an item called Red Sign Soapstone and using a glitch called Equip Slot Manipulation in order to turn that item into a very important ring called the Red Tearstone Ring, which we're going to be using to boost our damage considerably while we're at low health. I think it gives us essentially a double damage boost while we're below 20% HP. The ring exists within the game, but it's really out of the way to go grab, so it saves like 2 minutes to use this glitch to turn the Red Sign Soapstone into the Red Tearstone Ring.
Yeah, and after a certain point, we can also unequip it, otherwise you'll lose it and have to redo the glitch.
Yeah, and it's
really
even though it takes a while to kill Stray Demon this early, it's worth it to just get the Red Tearstone Ring as early as possible.
Also, just in case you might have forgotten how the game casually progresses, we need to kill Stray Demon to pick up the doll afterwards, the peculiar door, so we can enter the paint.
Well, we don't have to, but we don't want to backtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So here's where we pick up the Red Sign Soapstone.
Okay, these crows are scary.
Yeah.
Very nice strafe so far.
Nice.
That's good.
We're also gonna see the first instance of delayed arrows, which we're gonna probably talk more about later. Very nice.
Nice. Okay, that's pretty good. So normally that fall would be lethal, but because through shenanigans we are able to time a roll right before hitting the ground, we are able to use the iframes from the roll to avoid fall damage.
Yeah, there were two things going on there, the delayed arrows at the end and the plunge fall damage cancel, like just in general, that we're gonna also be using quite a bit.
And then there you also saw a small skip to get around this bridge. It's actually pretty big because it skips the entirety of Painted World and allows us to get to the final boss here. But it's very simple. There's some imperfect collision basically that we drop on, and we can get around the Undead Dragon and run towards the final boss here in Painted World.
Yep. That quit out I did there was basically to allow me to get a double hit on Priscilla here.
Nice.
And then I can go to the side and lock onto her, and my lock-on should follow her, so now I know where she is even though she's invisible.
Classic.
Alright, so she is kind of being weird. Okay. Just gonna take it safe here, because she will hit really hard.
Yeah, her weapon procs a bleed, so it can deal a lot of damage even though we're full HP.
She also has a lot of different spawns, and you got the worst one.
Yeah. It's 6 seconds lost right there. Alright, so now we're going to get up to 38 endurance. This will allow us to be in fast roll speed for the rest of the run with our Dragon Tooth. The Dragon Tooth is very heavy, so you need a lot of endurance. That's one of the big drawbacks to it.
And it's also a setup for arrows later on that we're also going to be using.
Do you want to explain what I'm going to be doing at Andre here? This is a really complex menuing I'm about to be doing.
There's going to be a lot of shopping, a lot of glitching, so he just saved the 999 quantity. He's going to use that to buy 999 pikes, but it's actually just one big pike that weighs a lot. And that's going to put him above a certain in-game weight limit that allows him to do the equipped slot manipulation glitch. And we're gonna get the Red Tearstone Ring out of the Red Sign Soapstone.
To make sure I'm on the right controller profile here.
Yeah, we were doing prompt swaps, so you gotta switch to profiles. And you really don't want to throw a bomb here.
So here's the ESM glitch. It's like really complicated, but actually doing it is very simple. So now I have Red Tearstone Ring, even though we didn't even pick it up. Now my damage, whenever I get to low HP, is going to be significantly boosted. Unfortunately, we still only have a +0 Dragon Tooth, but right now we're on our way to kill Hydra, which is necessary in order to access the downloadable content, Artorias of the Abyss. But he also drops a very important upgrade material, a Dragon Scale, which we're going to then duplicate and then use that to upgrade our Dragon Tooth to max.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we can't immediately upgrade it to max because the upgrades are quite expensive. And you see me killing those trees on the way. Part of that is to make it to where I don't have to quit out, so I can rest at that bonfire. But also, you literally just need the souls in order to get the upgrade to +2 Dragon Tooth. So we're going to split the upgrades a little bit because the cost of upgrading Dragon Tooth is actually really expensive.
And we wouldn't save any time by going higher on the next segment specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
But then the one after that, we actually do save a lot of time. So here's the first RTSR setup, which is what we're going to be calling Red Tearstone Ring for simplicity throughout the run. And another fall damage cancel by plunging. And let's see this Hydra.
So Regole's going to be doing jump attacks to cut the heads on Hydra to deal a lot of damage.
And the leftover bombs from killing Stray Demon, or sorry, Silent Demon, come in very handy here.
What also Regole is doing, which might not be obvious at first, is some very precise positioning within the fight to try and bait out favorable attacks in order to not have to dodge them unless, you know, absolutely necessary. And that way, he is able to, dispose of Hydra very quickly.
Yep,
That's good.
and he did the dupe there really quickly. It's probably hard to see that he dropped negative 998, which added 998 to his inventory.
Yeah, so we need to quit out here now that Hydra's dead to spawn this golden golem, and we're going to kill it, and it's going to drop an NPC named Dusk. So we have rescued her, and now we have killed her.
Because we need her money.
Yeah, we stole her wallet and took her car keys. So now we have just enough souls to upgrade to Dragon Tooth +2. And now we will be going to Anor Londo. This is probably the most technical segment of the whole run.
Yep.
Yeah, especially at the start.
So we have not rung the bells, and we have not placed the Lord Vessel. And that means that there is a golden fog gate here that is preventing us from actually accessing this area, but we are going to be doing a cool skip to get around that.
Yeah, this area is quite dark, so it might be hard to see the exact places that we're going to be using to actually do this skip, but it is a really cool skip.
Yeah, I just want to point out something that happened previously, like when Mario mentioned the dupe. That's like pretty important stuff that happened. So even though we got only one of the dragon scales from the Hydra, we were able to utilize the stored prompt that we had from Andre in order to overlap two different menus and then basically input it into the drop menu and get the negative 998 value there and dupe the upgrade materials so that we can get +5.
Yeah, so what's happening right now is he's walking on some very specific and narrow texture on the game, a seam as we call it, and aiming with the bow at a bunch of visual cues that allow him to just roll forward and actually get to the next point. And here we're gonna actually make it into fell.
Yeah, this is very, very precise.
Yeah,
I would say it's pixel perfect.
exactly. The first part of the skip where you saw him quit out was the worst part of the skip.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get up that rock consistently, and trying that jump multiple times can cost you a run pretty much at the level that we're running at.
Like, just doing it isn't too bad, but doing it quickly, this skip can be really annoying.
Yeah. This part can also be really annoying.
This is the...
Yeah, we need to try and get back in bounds.
Nice.
Good. Okay, let's see if the board gets us. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I think it's mostly safe. The squid out's for safety because otherwise the boar could just run you over.
Yes.
But he could also run you over here. Oh, bunked his head on the left. Nice.
Alright, so now I'm going to move swap. I need to kill this golem up here who will actually drop the item that will allow us to get into the DLC. If we hadn't killed Hydra, he wouldn't drop anything. So it's pretty important for us to kill Hydra first. There we go.
Yep.
There's a lot of enemies here, so it's a little scary. The guy almost shot me right there going around that pillar.
They also hit very hard, and
Yes.
anytime we're sprinting, we actually take instability counter hit damage, which amplifies their attack even more.
Yeah. So here is going to be a very famous skip called Duke Skip, but we're going to be doing it a little differently than maybe you have seen before.
Yeah, it's also gonna be setting up an up warp that abuses the movement of the elevator during the split second that it loads in. So we're gonna load in with it at the top, and we're also gonna see the first instance of arrows. That's
Yeah.
why.
So this is why we have the Pyromancer armor. This very specific equip load that allows us to do this.
Yep.
Very nice, yeah.
Chain rolls are in the air.
Yeah, so this is like a little bit of a technical marvel, honestly, because the only way this works is due to floating point number errors, where essentially you can get into the mid-roll tier of equipment while the game thinks that you're like 0% in to that tier. And that way, it actually allows you to just keep on chaining rolls in midair. And then, if you time it correctly, the last roll right before hitting the ground will have the iframes activated to avoid fall damage.
This is probably a good time to have some donations be read.
Excellent, thank you so much. We have an anonymous $20 donation here with no comment. We have Carl Germ donating $20
Nice.
saying, good luck, Regole, Franker Z.
Franker Z.
And we also have a donation here from Gold Pine Resin, $20 saying, no, don't worry about me, guys. I'll just catch up with you later.
I wish I had you, really.
Yes,
I really wish.
We do.
And then we also have a big one here from Austin86. It's $200.
Nice.
And a comment says, always a treat to see Dark Souls 1 at such an amazing event for such an amazing cause. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we did some particular jobs here to get our health to low enough to activate the red tearstone ring again for Seath. Even though you see it's not active right now, that is because Regole has equipped the Dusk Crown Ring that we obtained from Hydra, which effectively lowers your health to 50%. But this way, like, fall damage is basically, it's based on percentage of maximum health, yeah. So that way we can get to lower absolute numbers, and when we unequip the ring, we are now in RTSR range.
Yeah, normally we would be doing a very big skip there called a slope quit out, but it is a really risky one to do for a marathon, so not going to be seeing it today.
Unfortunately.
If you want to see that,
Oh,
my
the clam. Oh.
that is, might as well have done slope quit out. Gee, die to a clam. Oh, that's a really bad time loss. Okay, well, now we get to do all of that over again.
Yeah, this is the point where if you're doing no reset runs and you die here, that's where you reset.
Yeah, that is really rough. Jeez.
So this is actually something that I think is worth mentioning, is that Regole is making a lot of the things look very, very easy, right? Like running around all the enemies, avoiding them, rolling their attacks. But this is a lot of experience that goes into these runs. And one small mistake or one small like mistime, slightly early turning can get you close enough to enemies and just get hit where normally you wouldn't get hit. So it shows you how precise and how difficult some of these segments are, even though it doesn't actually look like it at first glance.
Well, that's where you do like very particular pathing to where those clams don't enter the boss fight with you. That is a very real risk. And I just barely missed it there and clipped my heel.
Yeah, that's because the fog gate for the Seath boss fight actually only spawns once the fight starts. So if the clams walk past the point of where the fog gate is going to spawn, they will be in the boss fight with you and can mess with you a lot.
Gotta remember the elevator is up. Pull the lever.
That was very clean though.
Yeah, that was good.
Nice.
Yeah, that is probably the biggest possible time loss. So that's cool. That is pretty brutal.
Don't worry, I've been there.
Yeah.
So one cool thing that Regole is actually doing here that I think is worth mentioning is he's storing his jump by trying to jump at a very low point of his stamina. And that way, next time he blocks, the jump gets activated without having to like press the jump button. And as such, he can use a very particular setup there to try and drop back in bounds.
We could get some donations in, probably.
Yeah, this would be
So
good.
we're just redoing the segment.
That is excellent. Thank you. We have Solid Luna with a $50 donation saying, "Can't believe Regole and Mario are actually not the same person." Good luck for the run, and may Marisa Masters spark your run.
I don't have to.
We also have a $25 donation here from Hannah Joe saying, "Catalyst is cute."
True.
No, you. What the hell?
We also have $10 here from Capitaine Tonwan saying, "Miss you guys," with a heart.
Oh, thank you guys.
Speaking
Miss you
of
too.
cute.
Oh, no.
The buff up as well. It's so unlucky. So this is what I was talking about, the extra damage, right? The channeler that you see on the right side of the screen, that guy can buff up the enemies around him. So not only are we taking counter hit damage, but also double damage basically because of the channeler buff up.
That is unlucky.
Alright. I didn't think I would be doing Golden Fog Gate skip 3 times.
Yeah.
It's good practice though.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys are getting triggered by the cursor on the screen, that's actually used for the prompt swap glitch, right? Because we're using the left mouse
Yeah,
button,
it is.
so
Yeah.
it's necessary. It's not just us being incompetent.
We get to see that every day during runs.
Yeah, you just basically don't even realize it's there anymore.
It actually becomes comforting because if you don't see it there, it means you're doing something wrong. Yeah. Once again, that's the most annoying part of the skip.
Yeah.
And little bit of trivia for this route is that this skip is not used in any other route of this game, I don't think. And it was incorporated by our discoveries throughout the last 2 years, I think.
2
This
years
route's
or
gonna
so,
be,
yeah.
It's gonna be 2 years soon. And we used to do.
Dude.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Used to do hybrid routes with magic and stuff, but this one is fully melee.
Yeah, this last part of the skip, again, it shows you that even like the parts that might seem trivial or a little bit easier are quite precise, because even at the very end, you're still walking on just a very small seam. A very narrow point to stand on. Yeah, there's a lot of people to thank, honestly, for the developments of the routes over the years. There's a lot of people that do not necessarily do runs, or not actively anyways, but still work on the routing and time things and try to incorporate new glitches into the runs. And that way the routes can change quite a lot over the years. And this is sort of the route that we are on now. The record is pushing sub 59 minutes in game time, so it's quite incredible that over the years, over the last decade and a bit, it has gone so low.
Okay.
Hopefully enemies are friendlier this time.
That is always scary.
Yep. Oh my lord.
Oh, this is like nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
All right, quit out to reset the boar. Going to take the elevator, and then hopefully we can get past the crystal skeletons.
Okay, pray.
It's another part of that area is the channeler just casting spells at us as well. And if you get very unlucky, you can get hit by the spell and comboed into an arrow from the archers. And yeah, it's not a good feeling. But on the upside, we get to see the cool Duke skip again.
Yep.
Cool thing you see during that setup is Regole starts shooting his bow so that he can queue up rolling out of it. That allows him to basically get a consistent roll without moving beforehand. Normally, if you just try to stand still and like roll forwards, you might move slightly, and that's gonna offset the position a little bit. So that is a very cool little tech.
Another little bit of trivia is that arrows were first found in the remaster version of the game, and because the leniency on the weight percentage that you need for arrows is way higher there. Oh my, don't want to equip that.
No.
So we actually found the floating point error Kata mentioned earlier afterwards, so.
Yeah, one of the perks of 60 FPS on remaster.
Okay. Hopefully get through there this time.
Yeah, and Tally, this would be a good time to read off what you have.
I will be happy to. I'll remind everyone that we do have another bid war coming up for Celeste, where you can choose which blindfold the run will wear. Cute Cat has gotten quite the lead ahead of Aliens, but we also have a Pug Dog in 3rd place. Might still have a chance. And we have $50 here from Philbo, which did help put Aliens ahead. And the message reads, "It's been a great week watching from home. Thanks to all the runners and everyone involved with the event."
Thank you for your generous donations. All of them going towards a good cause.
Oh yeah, this guy dies.
Yeah, this guy jumped off the platform and he doesn't respawn, so the golem is gone.
Don't often come here
No,
twice.
no, you usually don't.
All right, so we'll let Regole focus a little bit here on the clams. Again, it is very, very precise.
Looks good.
Looking good, yeah.
No
He's also
plans.
he's gonna jump into the cutscene to reach it a little bit sooner. And then turn around, shoot the Crystal of Immortality, Moose Swap inside of the fight, and then attack sideways because the Dragon Tooth is actually so big that you can hit through the core, which normally makes Seath take extra damage, and that was very clean this time. And yeah, with the size of the Dragon Tooth, you can attack through the core and hit the tail and not get that extra damage tick. So that's why Regole did it in this very, very particular way.
Now we have souls to upgrade our Dragon Tooth to max level, +5, and we're gonna do Gwyndolin with a pretty cool AI cancel setup that makes use of the block animation of a weapon that you can't yield.
Yeah, this one is new to me.
Oh,
Yeah, wrong setup.
It looked fine,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Or maybe I messed it up, I don't know.
It's very, like I said, it's very, very precise because you're lining up inputs perfectly. So as soon as you like mistime a cue or there's a wrong input or anything like that, it can mess up the entire setup, and you're not gonna toggle during the timer update, and the AI is just gonna work normally.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the arrows, and one more attack. Very nice.
And in general, the AI break for Gwyndolin is our biggest time save using those, because otherwise the fight is a complete RNG fiesta.
Yeah, as you just saw.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a blessing that we actually have that.
Alright, so now we are making our way to the DLC, which is definitely the most random part of the run.
Yeah, speaking of RNG, Fiesta.
Yeah. And probably requires, like, maybe the most execution. I would say the Seath segment is, like, the hardest single segment, but the DLC itself, like, altogether, is probably the most difficult part.
It's a really harsh blend of high-level execution and having to get a specific patterns that don't lose a million years in a run. So here another delayed arrow. And it's not uncommon for someone running at the highest level to lose 30 seconds of the DLC in a run, having like done very little to be punished for that. So yeah.
It's a big reason why we want to come here like as early as possible to get this out of the way. But you still want to get everything fully upgraded so you can make these boss fights faster. As soon as we get like a +5 Dragon Tooth and Red Tearstone Ring and have this place unlocked, we book it here.
Yeah, so for the first boss here coming up is going to be the Sanctuary Guardian. He can be quite scary as well with some of the attacks. With small lightning bolts, Regole's going to go to the left side.
Oh. Oh my lord.
Looking good.
I did it a little late.
Yeah.
So if I reacted to that a little faster, that would have been a one-shot.
And that is the best RNG you can get.
Yeah, that's because bosses also can suffer from instability damage, right? So right at the end of the attack, the boss is in this vulnerable state, and we could have dealt extra damage and just one-shot him.
All right, so this, we would normally not take this bonfire, but for safety, we will take it, because we will lose a lot of time otherwise. We're going to lose time by taking it, because we're going to have to grab that Dark Root Garden bonfire again. But it's honestly worth it.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal in a marathon setting.
Yeah.
We're going to be setting up yet another AI cancel. And it's interesting because now we can use those to our advantage, but for years and years we would accidentally get those, and those are, most of the time when you get those accidentally, it's unwanted. So it's a nice closing of a cycle to be able to use it in our favor.
Yeah, like, understanding of this glitch, again, like, big shout-outs to Kamul and Anjov who worked on it relentlessly. It's obviously a lot of people in the community, but those two in particular. It's very, very useful because not only can we abuse them to save time and make certain parts of the run more consistent and safer, but it also allows us to try and avoid the accidental ones that Mario mentioned, which would happen on bosses and then probably result in losing the run.
Yeah. A really bad one AFK to get is Quelaag.
Yeah. The jump attack, of course.
In the third time.
So normally I would have already had Red Stone Ring set up here, but since I took the safety bonfire, I had to do a little bit of an extra setup here.
So Artorias, if it goes well, it should be a swift boss fight again, but there's a lot of precision, a lot of intricate positioning that Regole needs to do to be able to hit him properly without him jumping away or without our attacks whiffing.
So let's see.
Green Blossom also used at the start of the fight, which we just purchased. That allows us to recover stamina faster. Here's the first attack.
Nice.
Good stuff. Yeah, that looked way easier than it is, so good job.
And here comes probably the strat that gave birth to the full melee routes. The Gothless Melee Kalamet. Very huge.
Yeah, normally you're supposed to do this entire side quest in the DLC, where you obtain a key that allows you to enter a tower where a huge archer named Goth is. And what he does is he shoots Kalamet with his big arrow and a big bow, and that grounds the dragon, and then you can go and fight him normally. You also have to trigger the dragon first, so you would have to run to this arena, then go to Goth, and then return back to fight him, and we can skip all of that.
Yeah, and going to be switching to keyboard here to normalize his movement, because this is very precise, and we really want it to be consistent. So let's see this first part, which is arguably the hardest. It's good. Nice.
Not over.
It's not over indeed, but the hardest part was done there. Yeah.
That is really hard.
Yeah, so Kalamet's tail's hitbox extends really far down beyond the visual. And by looking up, we can actually angle our attack slightly upwards. And that way we can reach it with the massive Dragon Tooth.
Hello?
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes he takes forever to come back, which is one reason this is a frustrating kill. Like, the execution of this strat is consistent, but the timing in which he returns on these cycles is not consistent.
Yeah.
Another cool little trick that we're abusing, if you look to the right upper side of the screen, is basically like a floating health bar. Essentially, when you deal damage to an enemy and then you put him out of the camera view, you can store the fade-out animation of the health bar, and then whenever the next time they enter the screen, you're able to see that fade-out even through a wall, and that way we know that Kalamet is coming back. And that was very quick and very clean. So Kalamet is going to fly away, and now you can see the death animation right there as Regole quits out to get in front of the arena. And you're also going to be able to tell that Kalamet is dead because we will receive the ring very promptly.
Yep.
That is the hardest thing in the run.
Well,
So,
no.
yeah. Good to get that. Actually want to take this ring off because we're about to do the
Oh, yeah.
first part of the Seath incentive, which I believe got met, correct?
Let me just double check, but I do believe you are indeed correct. Yep, that was met.
Okay,
Perfect.
so we are going to do a skip here, and then after the skip, we will rescue Seath. Do you want to explain the skip for me, guys?
Mario, please.
Yeah, this skip is gonna use a lot of stuff that we've previously used in this run already. Bow setups, keyboard to do delayed arrows, and the chain arrows.
I did not talk.
We're gonna be chaining the rolls to get down this elevator shaft without having to go through Ulasil Township. So, accordingly named Township Skip. So yeah, that was a very delayed roll, and we get to the bottom of it safely because we literally dodged the fall damage.
Yeah, it's a massive massive shortcut there, right? And it's very, very tall. So just doing arrows normally, we wouldn't have enough stamina to be able to do enough of them to fall down. So we do the delayed arrow strat where we plunge the edge of the elevator. That allows us to enter the last portion of the animation while still being able to roll. So we start rolling a lot later, and that way we can do enough arrows to survive the fall.
Yeah. That's where your huge stamina comes in.
All right, that's you have to kill all these enemies to rescue Seath. He's gonna give a little howl. Oh! And later on, there'll be a hidden cutscene that we get to see as well. Once we fight him. Now we are making our way to Manus.
I didn't know there were cutscenes in this game.
Yeah,
Yep.
there are.
Something I really want to mention real quick is that with the Kalamet melee kill, we first were able to do it with sorcery, but then Endrov T, glitch hunter and runner of this game, had a dream that he hit Kalamet the Dragon Tooth. So he woke up, turned his computer on, and lo and behold, he did hit Kalamet with the Dragon Tooth.
Yeah, Androv's dream is finally realized.
This is one of the coolest boss fights in the run. Quite a lot of RNG involved, and a lot of strategic planning of attacks as well. So let's see how it goes. Scary attack.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
punch that. It's kind of annoying. to
I
punch
would
that.
not do that.
No, this is bad RNG.
Oh my lord.
Oh my god.
There's the wombo combo.
He's not camera shy, that's for sure. Uh-oh.
Oh, that was really unlucky. That's okay. We have the DLC bonfire, so it is a bit of a run back, but it's all right.
It's not a problem. We'll see some cool skips again.
So I want this, and this. Actually, I want
Yeah,
this.
And send the elevator back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a perfect example of how precisely you need to time your attacks, because as soon as you do the running attack, it takes quite a while before you are able to roll any of the boss's follow-ups, right? So whenever you're attacking, you are completely exposing yourself to damage, and if the boss cannot be staggered with the attack, then yeah, it becomes very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and he did not make any easier there as well with the patterns that he gave. That's a lot of the reason why the DLC is such an RNG heavy section of the run. Because Manus can give that RNG in runs, and then...
Then you cry.
Yep. Oh.
All right. So I need to. Let's get over.
Bow over pike?
Yeah.
RTSR setup?
No, not for Manus. No.
Okay.
Oh, this needs to be.
See, like, it becomes very confusing how to set up the menuing, because normally runners are so used to the way they do it in runs that it becomes super automatic. And when you actually have to think about what to put where, it can be a bit confusing. All right,
Okay.
get the skip again, very nice.
This is the pathing we are actually used to, no?
Yeah.
Right, so here we purposely are taking full damage now to be able to set up RTSR for the fight. And one thing we haven't mentioned is the way we enter it is also actually from out of bounds. It's a very small skip for the fog wall, but in this particular case it's very useful because we take extra fall damage and we can set up RTSR. So that's this jump over here.
Alright.
Alright, take 2.
Gee.
What the? That was really scary.
Yeah. That was really scary.
Here's the rain. So once you get Manus past 60% HP, he starts casting magic as well. We got the unlucky pattern with the rain, which we just have to kind of run away from. And that's Manus right there, guys.
We get our souls.
And that's the DLC done.
Yeah.
Almost a good DLC.
So where are we going now?
We are going to kill Butterfly and Seath.
I thought we were saving Seath.
Well, we saved him, and then we're going to kill him.
Yeah, about
Oh.
that.
Nice debate. Better than saving Andre a couple years ago.
So normally we wouldn't have to do this run back right here. But since we took that safety bonfire in the DLC, which came in handy,
Very true.
we have to do this run back.
One thing we haven't mentioned, you might be wondering if you're looking at the bottom left of your screen, is that we only have one homeward bomb right now. How has Regole been able to board back to his last bonfire after certain boss fights without running out? That's because we are using a glitch called Confirmation Box Dupe. It's one of the most basic glitches that has been around for a long, long time. And the way we do it is very similar to how we do move swap. You basically queue up one action. During that action, or rather you perform an action, during it you queue up using the homeward bone, and then before that action is executed, you start drinking Estus. And once you do that, you get a confirmation box for the homeward bone, but when you use it, you only get rid of one of the Estus flask charges rather than using the item that you are duping.
I think you could go for a quick donation before the next boss.
All right, we have $20 here from Plockpunk with no comment, but we also have $20 from Artem saying, very cool to see this run still evolving after all these years. Feels like there's something new every time I watch.
Thank you. That is a very common thing with Dark Souls speedruns.
Yeah.
You don't watch it for 3 months, that's a completely different game.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that keep us going back to it.
Yeah. You grind for a really good world record, and then the next day there's a completely new strat. Just like, that's what Cat has been going through.
Hey, it's the journey that counts.
Yeah,
So-
this is a really cool kill. Sorry,
Yeah.
interrupt, but
No, I was just going to say that
Yeah.
this is going to be very, very cool.
Should be good.
nice.
Nice. I have not seen this setup before.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It's a little more normalized because of,
The corner.
yeah,
Yeah.
to the corner you just lock on, so you only have one angle, so you just have to time it. Pretty nice.
Yeah, so normally we've been using the move swap with the rapier the entire time, which is the double hit attack. But here we actually used it with the pike, which extends our hands further forwards. So with the size of the dragon tooth, we are able to extend the hurt box of our item or of our weapon much further on and actually hit the wings of the boss there and kill it before it basically gets to the point where we should normally be able to reach it.
Yeah, the pike also has a really quick double hit in succession as opposed to the rapier. So, well, when you have the pike on, it's a triple hit, but any other weapon is a double hit. So that's what allows us to kill it super fast like that.
So normally we like to use fall damage for red tier stone ring setups, but this is unfortunately a segment where there's really no good fall damage, so we have to use that enemy that I just got hit by, and I luckily got the best RNG there, but sometimes that enemy will troll you really hard.
Don't forget the cutscene.
Yes, we will not skip the cutscene. So here comes the special hidden cutscene. Sif treats us as if he knows us.
Spoilers.
Yes.
You won't believe what happens next.
Enjoy.
Oh.
Sniffer.
We had a shower in the morning, it's fine.
Fun fact, he actually spawns in a completely different location when you get this cutscene. The first time I saw that, it scared me to death, because he's right in front of you after this.
Really?
Normally that is not the case. See, right
Oh
there.
yeah, that's... I
He's
didn't know
immediately
that.
hopping around.
Classical.
Okay.
Pick up corner ring.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So again, this looked super easy, but Seath is one of the boss fights that can lose quite a bit of time. Even though you might look at it and be like, okay, well, you just kill him in 2 hits. Well, not really. I mean, you do, but it can be very difficult if Seath is jumping around and not really cooperating. It's also very important to attack in very particular directions, because otherwise you might get hit by an attack that comes right after. But if you position yourself correctly, you might be able to strafe it.
So this is one of my favorite parts of the run. It's just a string of a lot of different skips. So this is like the in-game portion of the run. Just doing a lot of cleanup, but there's a lot of skips going from boss to boss. The bosses themselves are pretty simple, but the ways that you get to them are really cool. Because now we have done our final level up. We have max damage. We have all of our gear, and we're just going to blow through the rest of the game, hopefully, at least. And this is my favorite skip of the whole run. It's called Blighttown skip. Can you guys help me on explaining this while I execute it?
Yeah, Mario, if you want.
Kata, if you want.
Oh, okay.
This is a really complicated skip.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so essentially what happens here, it's also my favorite skip, by the way, but essentially what happens here is Regole is setting his last stored position at the top of the elevator, while having the game think that the last area that he was in is the bottom. So when he quits out at the bottom of the elevator, he spawns on top. However, the bottom area actually loads in first, which means we clip out of bounds. After that, we land on this seam, and we can survive the fall damage, because when you spawn midair in this game, the fall death, essentially, is going to be slightly delayed at the bottom, so you can quit out, the game stores your position at the bottom, and when you load back in, you are still alive. Then you run on this seam to get to a certain point out of bounds, and you air roll through Blighttown all the way to Quelaag's domain. That was absolutely perfect.
That was beautiful.
That was so fast, I wasn't even able to finish the explanation.
Is likely the hardest skip that we do in RTA runs.
Classic.
The AI break. Here
Oh
we go.
god, the visions of Lost 58.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's probably fine, but this is a
Yeah,
really annoying.
just kite her around away from the lava. It's fine.
There's a very famous video of a particular runner having that happen to them.
Who donated?
Yes.
You know who you are.
But yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
And the AI break happened, like we weren't toggling, but if you unequip items, the AI break can also occur because the game deloads your character. Yep. And because Regole was doing some menuing on the fog, yeah, that's why Quelaag got a little bit confused.
Here's another really cool skip. This one's a little more simplistic and easy to do, but it is very flashy. This is called the Fire Sage Elevator Clip. So we're going to be quitting out over and over. Every single time you do a quit out in this game, your stand-up animation moves you back just slightly. And if you notice, whenever I load in, the elevator behind me is not there at the very beginning. And so we eventually just fall right through it.
The elevator is part of Demon Ruins.
Yeah, and like we can't just stand on the elevator and quit out because it's considered unstable ground.
Nice.
So if we stood on it, it would just warp us right off of it. And luckily there's a boss right underneath that we can plunge attack, and his AI doesn't load, and we just kill him.
Yep.
This skip actually is what got me into speedrunning this game.
Shoutouts to Kamul.
Yeah, shoutouts to Kamul.
And here's the first wrong warp of the run.
Oh.
The homeward wrong warp. Nice.
Opa. That was easy.
Clap.
So this is basically a frame-perfect sequence of inputs that Regole is doing there. He's that was also frame-perfect. Essentially, what's happening during the wrong warp is Regole is casting Fireball. He's casting Homeward with the animation of Fireball, and by doing that, it allows him to rest at a bonfire before the game warps him away, right? Because Homeward is a spell that basically acts as a Homeward Bone, and normally it has a very long animation that locks you in for a long, long time. So it is not possible to just rest somewhere before the warp happens. But by swapping the animation, he's able to do that, which causes the game to perform a warp. Yeah, this is scary.
Yeah.
That was one of the 1,000,000,005 ways that we have to do lower Undead brick skip. But this looks quite sketchy.
Okay.
I hope the dog... Okay. Nice. They were
good.
good doggos.
Yeah, that was a very good salvage here from Regole.
I'm actually going to heal right here. Dying here is pretty bad.
Yep. But like Regole says, this is a really big string of segments that have crazy skips, and this one is one of them. It's very different looking than other stuff that we've been doing.
The skip's really dangerous, so hopefully it goes well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another example of abusing the way the game loads. So we basically quit out on a transition of 2 areas, and once again we disconnect the last stable position of our character and the last area that the game that we entered. And that way we are spawning back in one area while the other one is loading first, and we can clip out of bounds. So this is the trickiest part of the skip.
Yep.
Yep. Well, I honestly have more trouble with the jump afterwards, but this part is just kind of annoying. I'm gonna kill this rat.
Red gem. WTF.
There we go.
Nice. That skip has killed many rounds.
It will kill many more.
Oh, robbery. Broad daylight.
I hate this skip, man. All right.
That's looking good.
This
That
time,
probably
surely.
should work. All right.
Sweet.
Okay,
Got it. All right, cool.
nice.
Let's go.
Straight into
Now
the
we need him to
That's fine.
behave.
Nice.
Okay, thank you.
Slam.
Yeah, good boy. Thank you.
Oh my god.
This game, dude.
Channel is on
Oh
fire.
my gosh, dude.
And if we had a PB attempts, we would say, oh nice, we have a run going now.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very end.
Yep.
Yeah, so we needed a slam from the Gaping Dragon there because all the other attacks are pretty bad to deal with, and also damaging the head deals extra damage, so you can just two-shot the boss.
This guy is really annoying. Hopefully he behaves.
Gonna be purposely taking damage on the lava to activate RTSR. And
Looking
again,
good.
very particular pathing here from Regole. Oh,
What?
I guess I was too far.
Yeah, but
too far back.
yeah,
Interesting. I've never had that happen.
not normal. Maybe show off the plunge now. Pause.
I'd rather not die. I'm already had some pretty huge time losses
Yeah.
with the Seath segments, so.
So the hitboxes of this enemy are quite whack. So what you can do very often is just stand underneath it, and a lot of the attacks are gonna whiff. And the way to optimize the time save there is to do a backstep during one of these attacks. And backstepping basically allows you to not get staggered. And you can do a running attack straight out of that backstep.
Yeah. And there's alternative pathing than going down those branches, which makes use of the delayed arrow, or an arrow in general. It's not being nice.
Now this is probably because we are re-entering the fight for the second time. So the bosses can behave slightly differently.
This is probably a good spot for donations, because this is
Cool. I have
just
a
a
quick one
long
here.
run through the lava here.
It's a $20 donation from Alksafe. There is no comment for this one, but it is going towards the blindfolded incentive for Select, putting aliens trying to secure that second place, maybe into our first place. Keep those donations coming in.
So yeah, you guys like lava?
Well, so we're on our way to fighting what is typically considered the most annoying boss in this game by most people, but we have a cool strategy called Toki Bombs.
I'm a big fan.
Me too. So normally what you have to do is you have to go to the left side and the right side to punch out these orbs, which will then gain you access to the middle section of the fight. It's kind of a gimmick boss. But the whole time you're doing this, the platform surrounding the boss is like falling beneath your feet. And the hands of the boss are like pushing you around and pushing you into the holes. But we're just gonna stand in a certain spot and throw 2 black fire bombs and then immediately go to the center.
That's the one speedrun strat that I think that everyone that plays this game regularly should learn, because it's just such a handy strat.
We are gonna heal though, because there is a chance that the boss can do a particular attack called a firestorm, which would kill us in the very end of the fight. So just for safety, we're gonna heal up here.
Again, Regole's taking like very particular pathing throughout this area. Like there's a reason why he goes to the left of that enemy and not to the right, for example, right? Like all these things are planned out in advance. Same here with Daughter of Chaos right now. He baits her to his right side so that he can get around the left side there without getting clipped by any of the attacks. It's a lot of precision that goes into these segments that can be taken for granted, but if you decide to start running this game and start learning the segments, yeah, you'll feel the pain for a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely a big knowledge gap for anyone starting to run this game. It takes a lot of experience to kind of build up like what you need to do in specific spots. Not necessarily difficult to execute things, but just a lot of knowledge you need to acquire.
Okay.
Whoop.
Should be good. Nice.
Yeah, it's not over
Let's
yet.
see if we get firestormed. Alright, it's good. Nice.
There we go.
So now we're gonna go to Ceaseless discharge. Gonna rest here and then warp to Firelink and wrong warp from Firelink. And what that does is actually save our position in the Firelink bonfire, which we would do to do the rest of the cleanup.
Very nice again. First try.
Yep.
So you can see there, like briefly, there's a prompt to rest at the bonfire before the teleport happens.
I'm gonna rest here just because.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Seath, dying here would lose me an insane amount of time. In fact, I'd probably just have to load a safe file.
Yeah, you might be wondering why. That's because the bonfire before centipede is not warpable.
Well, good thing I.
Yeah, that's actually very convenient.
Good thing I messed up the Archie Star setup somehow.
Yeah, getting the proper amount of fall damage here can be a little bit tricky sometimes.
We could go for the donations. For any?
Excellent. We have a $5 donation here from Newbie King with no comment, but it is going towards Cute Cat for the blindfold, trying to secure that lead. We also have $5 here from ESA Love saying, for at out of bounds, skip Alzheimer's %. Thank you so much to them both.
Thank you. One thing I didn't mention when I talked about the wrong warps is that you get wrong warped in the area of your previous last bonfire, right? So even though we use the Firelink Shrine bonfire to perform the wrong warp at, we get wrong warp within the previous area, which was Demon Ruins. And you essentially get put to the first spawn point on the list for that area, which are kind of arbitrarily set by the developers, but so not all of those spawn points can be useful, not in all areas, but the ones that are, we try to abuse. Nice.
And that's Ceaseless.
That was very clean.
We're gonna warp to Firelink and make our way to Four Kings.
Gotta rest at this bonfire, don't forget. Normally I wouldn't have to do this, but since I took the safety bonfire,
Yeah.
I need to rest here.
And again, a particular way of getting
Uh,
That happens sometimes. That's a really weird collision right there.
good quit out reflexes though.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah.
That's happened to me many times. Alright, so we got another skip coming up called Sill Skip.
And we equip this ring that we got from killing Seath. Very important to not die in. You try to drop into the fight.
Yes.
So the
Very important to have that
yeah.
one on. But I'm going to try to do a running attack here to just barely fall off a ledge, and there is a slope underneath that will delay my death animation enough for me to actually respawn completely alive under the water. Okay, missed it. That's okay. That should work.
That should work.
looks
yeah.
good.
We are alive. I watched the health bar. Ah, very nice.
So these series of squid outs, this last one in particular, is because the dropping here puts your character in a top-down view because it's a death plane. If we keep roaming around in that in that state, we would die eventually. But just a simple quit out puts us back in normal camera view.
So yeah, we are dropping into the boss fight now. Kind of similarly like with Manus. Dropping to the area doesn't actually kill you, so.
You drop an item to know where the second king is gonna spawn.
What about the third and the fourth?
Who?
So what you see Regole do here is he attacks the boss once the one individual king is dead, and normally that shouldn't really do anything, but you can still deal damage to enemies that are dying, or, well, yeah, that are dying. And like I said, normally their health bar is at 0, so that doesn't do anything. But here, because the 4 kings have a cumulative health bar at the bottom, you can keep on attacking the one individual you just killed who has a separate health bar and deal extra damage, and that way you can hopefully do this fight in just 2 kings like that.
Yeah. A Dragon Tooth +5 with Red Tearstone Ring makes that really easy. No Abysser bonfires?
I guess I should.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Shut up, Kath.
Okay.
Is he gonna...
He's just going to work me
Okay,
anyways.
yeah.
Whatever.
Oh.
Just won't take it.
Simply don't die to Gwyn.
Yes.
This is another case of wrong warp. And yeah, it is very precise to perform it, because you're essentially casting and swapping to the next spell on the same frame, and then casting again on the very next frame afterwards.
Now we're heading to Regole Nito to finish off everyone before the last boss of the game. And hopefully the areas are the main threat here now. So let's hope the bone wheels are nice.
Yeah, even with this health bar that we have, which is quite impressive, it's very easy to die to the bone wheels because they can get stuck on your back and repeatedly keep on dealing damage, and there's like no way to avoid that.
They
when it
killed
happens.
me in my practice run earlier today.
It'll be fine.
On this area you have to push a lever to open a door in this room. It's down here. We're gonna do a quit out. So it both skips the animation and resets the skeletons in the previous room. So that is very important for us to get through here safely. And also more arrows coming up.
Oh, Cat Skeleton was kind of close.
Yeah, it's my buddy. He always follows me down.
This looks so Right, yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, that's nice.
Mostly safe.
One thing that we also haven't mentioned is Mario was talking about getting like an extremely heavy pike. We then ended up dropping it and picking it up again, which resets it back to its normal state. Oh, that was been real nice.
Yeah, I guess. That's
Yeah, so the pike gets reset to its normal state, and then we actually use it as part of the setup for air rolls, which is really cool.
Yeah, this section is very famous casually for being, you know, you can see, or well, you can't see, rather. But for speedrunners, that is a very, mostly chill
Oh, there's
area
some,
to traverse.
Yeah,
there's
this
some
is-
really cool parkour here.
This is one of my favorite areas to run through, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of like small jumps that you can do to save a little bit of time. You saw Regole use a plunge attack on one of the tombs to be able to slide down a little bit faster without delay.
Yeah. There was one jump that he didn't do there for safety because it's really not super necessary. But yeah, adds complexity to this area as well. It's not simply just traversing it. And if we could get in one quick donation, that'd be nice. Be good.
That would be perfect. We have a smiley face 33 donation of $10 saying, "Good job, Centipede Demon." And that is to go towards actually a brand new incentive that we just opened up to get a bonus run and extend ESA with the Super Mario 64 70-star run. So please do donate and please get them towards this incentive so we can meet it.
I think I know who donated that. Good job, Centipede Demon.
I think I do too. Alright, hopefully this goes okay. It's a really cool strat, but if it messes up, it's pretty bad. But
So what are we doing here?
We're breaking Nito's AI. Shoutouts to Kamo.
So again, you see like very particular inputs being done here to
that
chain.
didn't work. The bow toggle didn't come out. It's okay.
Yeah, you can redo it.
To chain and time the toggle so that we can break the AI of the enemies. But as I said, you need to chain a lot of different inputs. And any small mistime is basically going to result in failure. Because then the entire setup kind of gets moved and the deloads from toggles do not line up with the timer, AI timer anymore.
Oh my god. I didn't have the blossom selected.
Yeah, the Blossom is part of the setup. Using the Blossom, it's very important for the actual kill. Gotta equip all our stuff back. Switch to Blossom.
We're also setting up RTSR from the full damage upon entering Nito's arena as well, so that is important to do there too.
I think that's a fast.
Oh my lord.
Dude, what? I don't know what I did wrong.
I think your last two were,
Yeah, maybe.
were off. Last two
Yeah.
toggles.
Alright.
One Blossom left.
Fire Flame.
So again, like we have to quit out here each time so that the timer starts anew. And we have a consistent beginning for the setup.
You didn't ring
Oh.
swap.
Well. Okay, we'll just do it live.
Okay, that is actually probably
That's looking good, yeah.
good RNG. Damn.
We cannot see skeleton. Oh my god, that was so close. You could see the big skeleton in the background already charging up his attack.
That was sketch.
Yeah, so what went wrong there is we didn't get the RTSR set up, so that made the fight quite a bit longer.
Yeah, it's okay.
There's going to be another wrong warp to get into the kiln of the first flame. And as we're running through, this would be the perfect time to finish up some of the donations that might be pending.
Awesome, thank you so much. We have an anonymous $10 donation here with no message, but going towards our new incentive. And then we also have $70 here from Jan Birdie saying, "Go Mario."
Oh, jeez. Okay. Of course.
Yeah, so we're looking, this is another RTSR setup where we have to use the enemy, and we're looking for a particular attack. And as Regole pointed out earlier, that's the one. As Regole pointed out earlier, dealing with the RNG on enemies for RTSR setups is quite annoying.
Yeah. Losing time to that guy this late in the run is never fun. Yeah, coming up next is the last boss.
Unless this is Black Knight.
Yeah. Also, arguably as dangerous.
Okay, we got a good attack. So, yeah, go on.
No, I was gonna say that that's once again a knowledge thing, that a lot of runners take a path to the left after that guy and they get clipped by the spec swing of one of his attacks.
Again, very particular pathing here to avoid these enemies as well. I wouldn't hire these guys as bodyguards.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
See, 2 parries.
Thanks to the Hornet Ring that we picked up at Seath for extra repose damage. That's the first. All right.
Nice.
Slow attack, parry, riposte.
And that is Dark Souls all bosses.
Okay.
Button, Mario.
Time.
Time.
There we go. Woo. Let's see what the in-game time is. That was not the best one. The biggest thing was that Seath segment.
121.
Threw us off quite a bit. But yeah, that was Dark Souls All Bosses. Thank you for having me, ESA. Hope that was fun. Thank you, Mario and
My pleasure.
Kata. I appreciate y'all's commentary. Shout out to Speed Souls. If you ever want to learn how to run this game or any other Souls games, join our Discord. There's a lot of people there who are really very helpful and passionate that can help you learn any of these games. Maybe get a better run than that. But yeah, other than that, thank you.
Thank you so much, Regole. Clearly, you should all go follow him on his personal channels to see maybe better attempts. But that was an incredible showcase for a marathon setting. Give it up again for Regole.